Hello, this is Bob Galeese with One Man and a Hammer and OneManandAHammer.com. It's often asked, what is the best way to structure the financial side of a home remodeling contract? Let me give you a few tips about how to keep yourself out of trouble and to make sure that everything stays equitable for both sides. Number one, when you're structuring the financial aspects of the contract, you want to make sure that you have a deposit that makes sense for both sides. A 50% deposit, in my opinion, is not good for anybody. If a contractor requires your money to go buy materials, that should be a red flag for you. So typically 25 to 35% as a deposit up front upon signing the contract, I believe is fair depending on the size and the scope of the job. As the job moves forward, once the job begins, now you should look into progress payments. You can have as many as 10 progress payments. You can have 20 of them, depending on the size of the job. Typically, there's from 1 to 5 progress payments. The first progress payment would be upon completion, substantial completion, of, let's say, the demolition, rough plumbing, and rough electrical. And let's say that progress payment will be about 15%. The second progress payment will be upon substantial completion of the drywall and the painting, for instance. Maybe that'll be another 15%. Maybe when the cabinets are delivered to the job site or the plumbing fixtures or whatever it is, whatever substantial materials that you have going into this project are being delivered to the job site. Maybe at that point it'll be a 20% progress payment that'll be required. This way, at the end of the job, you should be, as the homeowners, be holding on to about 15% of the contract. And the contractor is going to absolutely want to come back and finish that project. And if he doesn't, at least you have something to finish up that last little bit, okay? The last thing I want to mention is the time of the project. Make sure you have a start day and an end day. If the contractor comes in, starts a job, and decides to leave your project and go start another job, well, that happens quite often. I'm sure you've heard of that story. So what you want to do is put in the contract, we're going to start on this day, we're going to end on this day, and we are going to be here every day in between to make sure we get your project done in a timely fashion, in a workmanlike manner, okay? Thank you for joining me. This has been Bob Galeese with One Man and a Hammer and OneManandAHammer.com. You can also join me every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time on WELW.com. And if you're in Northeast Ohio, 1330 a.m. WELW.